Hi, and welcome to Andy's Let's Plays. Today we're playing Tera. Hi guys, welcome back to episode number 105 of Andy's Big Sorcerer Let's Play. I just had ported back to Dragonfall, or Dragonfell, maybe, I think is the name of that place, in order to get some rested XP. But we are going to start out here with, I forgot to use the souped up ability. There we go. Take that, you mad Spore Walker. I don't want to get the guard to kill this guy. I want to kill him on my own for XP, but there we go. Yeah, we just ran back to camp in order to get a bit more rested experience. So, anyway, we're going to continue questing through this area, see what we can do here. Should hit. There we go. I don't know if jumping back while they're leaping towards me actually causes damage in the same way that other things do. Anyway, while we just sort of fight our way through a bunch of these mobs, since our quests are all, you know, kill 14 of this and 14 of that, etc. I just wanted to talk about some stuff. I've been asked to sort of go over what helps me to stay motivated in order to play games, and I guess specifically Tera. And I can try and surmise what helps other people to stay motivated as well. You know, I think it kind of, you'd have to boil it down to a couple of different goals. For me, I tend to enjoy the questing process and, you know, leveling towards the level cap more than I enjoy being at the level cap, mainly because I find that it gets into sort of a grindy, you know, who's got the best gear and what dungeons can you run, and it gets more stressful than it should be. You know, games should be fun, you should enjoy playing them, so if you're not enjoying playing the game, then, well, unfortunately, it's probably not worth your time, you know? But that being said, I do enjoy the leveling process, and I think that, among other things, certainly for me, doing the Let's Play has helped me to stay motivated, because I know that, you know, it basically makes it so that I'm sort of not the only one involved, and I have a goal. And by keeping my goal pretty simple, it's basically boils down to playing about a half hour a day, which is not an unreasonable amount of... Oh, hey, nice. He died. Which is not a hugely unreasonable amount of time to spend on something. I'm able to basically, you know, keep playing and sort of schedule things, and each day I kind of know what's coming next, since I've gone through it somewhat on my Lancer character, and I look forward to that, you know. I enjoy the combat. I think that really helps me to stay motivated, because the combat is not monotonous. Each fight that you engage in really helps to, I don't know, hook you into the game more. Each enemy that you fight is somewhat different, and even if they have, you know, the same type of model or even the same animation sequences, it's still, you know, really neat to go against them, since they're kind of random and different and exciting. So, you know, that sort of goes to the gameplay itself. Not quests, but, like, what you're doing in the game to complete quests being exciting. Because you could have the best quests in the world, and, you know, I would still probably be pretty bored with the game if the combat itself or moving around is really frustrating or boring. You know, so you gotta strike a balance. You don't want to have, like, no quests or terrible quests and just tell people, yeah, go grind mobs, you know? Because they're gonna be like, well, nope, thanks, but as much fun as fighting things is, I'm not interested in just killing lots and lots of mobs. So, you know, it's a balance. You got to find the right game that really appeals to you. Personally, what I've sometimes told my friends is that I thrive on boring, if that makes sense. I really enjoy playing games and doing things that other people often find boring, and I'm not certain why that is, but you know, even for stuff like, I don't know how familiar people are with World of Warcraft, but that's a game that I put a fair amount of time into. It had, you know, several characters at the level cap, and part of that game involved reputation grind for different things, including mounts. In one region, there are two factions, whether you're part of the Alliance or the Horde, which are the two factions in WoW, you would be faced with either getting reputation with one of these two groups in this zone in order to get a mount that looks kind of like a gazelle, colorful gazelle. And I saw these things, and I was just like, "Yep, this is what I'm doing." So, as part of leveling on like each of my characters, I spent days just like fighting tons and tons of these ogres in order to get beads from them. And looking back on it, you know, it seems a little silly, but it's something that I actually really enjoyed. And I did much the same thing in order to get other stuff in that game, including like some non-combat pets and whatnot. But some people, you know, have a short attention span for things in game, whether that's quests that require you to get a lot of mobs that get frustrating for people, or stuck on the hill, or things like the amount of time that it takes to level to the level cap. I don't mind it taking a while. Now, you know, certain games like Ion, when it was first released, I played that for a while. I was less than thrilled. You know, they had some nice quests. They had beautiful graphics, certainly at the time. You know, incredible graphics, and even now, still very good. But the leveling curve was just off, and that's, you know, I'm saying that having at that point just played WoW for quite a long time, and looking at that as, you know, one of these Eastern MMOs now that's similar to Tera, but the leveling curve in Ion is much more harsh. At least it was. Now I think they've revised it and made it better. But that's a game that I just found myself not really able to stick with. And, you know, that's... I'm not sure why exactly that is, but basically, well, I guess I can guess that it had a lot to do with the fact that by feeling like I wasn't making progress, it was not something I was inclined to log into each day, you know? Basically, if I can log in and play for even a half hour and feel like I'm making progress on a day-to-day basis, then I'm pretty likely to keep logging in, because, you know, it's something that I want to do. I want to make progress in the game, because, you know, that's kind of falls to personal reasons in terms of, like, I want to get the best armor that I can, or the best armor that I can get, you know, as a solo player or whatever, you know. It kind of falls to whatever you want to see for your character in game. That's something that I initially had to learn when starting World of Warcraft a long time back, is you have to kind of set your own win condition. It's not a game that's linear like, you know, Portal or other games that are linear like Portal. I don't know. Just games in general tend to be linear. MMOs are different. Even if the questing through regions is pretty linear, just getting to level cap does not mean you've won the game, that's it, you're done, stop playing, you know. You basically have to decide for yourself when you feel like you've sort of more or less won the game. And that can be really easy to do too, you know. On a daily basis, you can feel like you've succeeded and won by just making it to the next level, or just getting a little more XP. And that's part of the psychological hooks that kind of go into MMOs and making them. It's interesting how, you know, you look at something like that and it's you hear about people getting like addicted to MMOs. It is possible, I think, to, you know, end up sort of not, you know, dependent in the same way somebody becomes on cigarettes or, you know, cocaine or something like that, but it's sort of possible to become psychologically addicted to an MMO because of the fact that many of them, particularly WoW, have a tendency to, you know, reward little actions. Things like the titles that you get in Tera, and, you know, the achievements. You do little things and you get rewarded with a little thing. And you like that reward, so you want to keep getting more rewards. And even if the rewards don't actually help you that much, your brain goes, ooh, that's cool. I want to get more of that, you know? So it's, you know, that's kind of delving into, like, the, I don't know, sinister side of MMOs and their tendency to be, you know, something that people would maybe want to stop, but then feel like they can't. I think what people are asking about now more is the flip side. How do I, you know, keep going when I want to, but just feel bored with the game? And that's a tough one. I'd say probably the best thing that you could do is find friends to play with, and those don't have to be friends that you know in real... Oh god, middle of the swarm here. Alright. There we go. Those don't have to be friends that you know in real life prior to starting the game. It's definitely possible to find a group of people, you know, either through a social networking site or, you know, through just an in-game guild finder type thing. You can find people to group up with, play with, and talk to on a regular basis, and especially getting on things like TeamSpeak or whatever your guild may have. It can definitely help because you get to know people and then you want to interact with them more, and they'll help you with stuff, you help them, and it's great. Everybody benefits, and I'd say that it's a lot more fun than trying to go it solo all the time, you know. Oh, we are very out of mana. Come on, mana. Wow, oops. Okay. This is interesting. I think it was Griffin that mentioned, hey, maybe stop using Hunter's Concax. I think we're past Concax, but stop using Hunter Crystals. Use mana ones instead, maybe, because, you know, yeah, it's like I'm running out of mana. We are using 3 Hunter's Pentans currently, and let's see. Do I have more brilliant ones? Domineering, Cunning, Pristine, Brilliant. I'm going to swap a Hunter's for Brilliant. That should increase our mana regen, help us with stability a bit. I want to strike a nice balance because having the Hunters is awesome for the extra damage that we do. Helps us to quest faster and whatnot, but we don't want to be stuck with a bunch of downtime either. So yeah, definitely my major suggestion would be find people to do stuff with. And whether that's, you know, people that you know in real life that you, or from other games that you convince to play with you. You know, Tera, like many games, goes on sale all the time. I'd say more often even than most games, just because it's so easy to distribute digitally and relatively new. Yeah, it's It's on sale pretty often. They just had a really nice, like, 60% off or something sale. And I actually bought the game for Alex and got him to play it some with me. And that's awesome because, you know, you get other people to do stuff with you, and then you have a lot of fun doing it. Let's see, we got our Kill Sabertooth's quest, and we should be able to turn in that Sporewalker's quest up here. So let's see what's up. There's that one. Nice. Alright, so Sabertooths are down in this direction. I'll track them. There we go. But yeah, playing with other people. That's the name of the game as far as, other than Tera, that's the name of the game. Just because when you're doing stuff with friends, then, you know, it gives you something else to talk about too in real life. If, you know, if going outside and, like, meeting people is your thing, then, like, when you hang out with those friends, you can be all like, "Sup, bro? How about that wicked Sabertooth we totally ice needled last night and then magma bombed him in the face?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, bro, that's so sick." I don't know. If your friends talk like that, then that might be the kind of conversation you'll have. But yeah, find people to play with. That's probably my major suggestion. And other than that, one thing I found very helpful is, it may sound counterintuitive, but limit your playtime. Depending on the game, obviously, you know, depending on what you're doing in game and all that, this varies from person to person. But if you play a game non-stop for like 8, 9, 10 hours a day or more for a week, you are going to burn out. You might get a huge amount done in game by doing that, but you're also going to not want to play that game anymore because it just becomes like too annoying to... You kind of get to this point where you're like, I don't want to spend time on this anymore right now. So if that's your cup of tea, you can do sort of a fluctuating thing where, you know, you spend lots and lots of time online for a week or two, then nothing for a couple weeks or a month, and then lots and lots of time online again. I find that it's actually somewhat refreshing to just, you know, play for half hour to an hour, maybe two, in a given day. Don't stress about not being online or something like that. The game will still be there for you to progress in later on. So, you know, definitely a good way of continuing to keep the game fresh is not to try to plow through everything right away. Space it out, enjoy it over time. You'll enjoy the little things more. And there was another point that I wanted to make with that, and now I'm totally blanking on it. Oh, I remember what it is. There we go. Don't let the game become a job, you know? And that goes for any game, whether you're, you know, just questing, or you're the raid leader, or you know, a Vanarch. I totally understand having sort of pseudo responsibilities in game because, you know, this is an MMO. There are other people playing, and if you end up in that kind of position, you're basically responsible for those that play with you. If they look to you in order to schedule things or something like that, you know, it's important to respect that and to recognize that, you know, these are other people that are taking time out of their day in order to play, especially if they're taking time out of their day in order to play with you specifically. And, you know, it's important to uphold your schedule if you set one forth, but I would avoid, personally, you know, letting yourself get too bogged down in some sort of a schedule because, like I said from the beginning, it's a game. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. You know, play as much as you want to, but don't, don't wake up in the morning and, have this feeling like, oh man, I gotta get online today because, my guild needs me to run this thing and I just really don't want to. That's not a good thing. That's not a good sign, and that's not gonna be conducive to you playing the game long term. So I would say if you're having like, issues with people forcing you to play the game, basically, take a step back, take a little break, do something else for a while, and then once you're sort of done with, some relaxation and whatnot, heck, level an alt, play the game, but not in a situation where you like feel like you have to be online in order to raid or something like that. That way, you can come and go as you please. You can, go online and you gotta find this magic detector. You can go online, you can play for a while, enjoy yourself, and then log off. And try to just keep it separate. Don't worry about it is the main point here. Don't worry about the game. Because it'll still be there when you get back. You can log off and have fun doing other things as well. And then when you get back, you'll be all the more excited to play some more instead of, forcing yourself to be online all the time and then just always approaching it with a negative sort of, I don't want to do this type attitude, If you don't want to do it, don't play the game. And that sounds bad or harsh, and that's not really my intention. I just, have fun is the point. Find something in game. If you are like just totally blown away by crafting and you want to craft everything, go for it. Level in order to get money to make that happen, or find friends that want to bankroll you to do that for them. I don't care. Whatever floats your boat and makes that possible, but, find something in game that you really enjoy and make it happen. And that's, that kind of is going back to make your own win condition. You just have to, see what you want to achieve. And that can be a set of armor, too, If your goal is, I want all T14 or, T13 with +9 or higher on everything I can get it on, then, great. And work towards that goal. And then once you've reached it, you can either decide that you're basically done with the game, or you're sort of ready to move on to something else. I don't know. Or, keep playing. That too is definitely a valid approach. Alright, we have to go talk to Melkar at the Saravan Point. And we gotta warn Belloc at the Saravan Point about the Argon/Thulsa alliance, so that's where we're headed now. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of how I would suggest you find motivation to play the game, and if you're feeling not motivated on a given character, mix up your play, make another character, play both, play the second one for a while and leave your first just to gain some rested XP and all that. I find that by switching and having both my Lancer and Sorcerer characters that I play, not only does playing only about a half hour a day mean that I'm almost always in rested XP on my Sorcerer, making leveling based on mobs almost twice as fast. I say almost because while the XP from mobs themselves is twice as fast, we don't get double XP from quests, so that's a thing. But Anyway, yeah, rested XP helps a lot. Definitely makes it feel like you're making more progress because, you know, you are making more progress. Let's see. We need to kill unstable Myconars, so that's going to be what we do here for a bit. Do that, and that. Blast, blast, blast. Try to... Dang it! I was hoping that, oh, that's why it didn't go off. I was curious why I fired the, I thought I had pushed spacebar. I didn't. I pushed the, I pushed 3 instead of 4. 3 triggers my Void Pulse, while 4 triggers the speed up. So I should have done that, which brought up Fire Blast. Oh, and, also, I think it was Griffin as well that suggested retooling my chain skills in order to remove the link to Void Pulse in there. It doesn't bother me that much. I actually kind of like the versatility of play, knowing that it's there. It's just when it initially showed up, I didn't know that that would be the case, so it threw me for a second. But now that I'm used to it, that's fine, so I'm not going to change it. In the future, we might work on some like custom chain of attacks just to do something cool. I don't know. But, yeah. Let's see. I forget whether we are, like, totally done talking about motivation, or... I suppose, if nothing else, I can leave you with, you're awesome, you can succeed at the game, you can succeed at anything that you choose to do. I believe in you. Everybody around you believes in you, even if they say otherwise. They do. And, you know, go. Conquer. Destroy Myconars, if that's your thing. Get yourself a hat in-game. Like a pirate hat, or maybe some glasses. Those are pretty snazzy looking. And, you know, just be awesome. When you're feeling demotivated, stop. Stop feeling that way, and be awesome instead. I know you can do it. So, go. Motivate. Be. Wow, that... What the heck? That was like the least stable Myconar. That guy... He is a supremely unstable Myconar. Wow. One Ice Needle and he goes tumbling backwards like 10 feet. Alright. Those guys are scary and not what we need to fight yet. Where are more Myconars? There must be... Oh, hey. There you go. Here we go. Blast you with that. That. And wow, we are so out of mana that I don't think I could even cast Fireball at that point. There we go. So yeah, our mana is definitely less stable than before. Next time we're in town, might have to pick up some crystals in order to increase the amount of mana that we have, but we'll see. You know, as long as we use our regenerative spell, it's not that bad. And I kind of like the increased damage more than... I know that in the past I've said how stability is, like, really important to me as far as, you know, mana generation and whatnot goes, but when it comes down to it, as long as we're stable enough, then I think I can still live with that. If it becomes more of a problem, then we'll probably look more into dealing with that, whether through crystals, or we may look into acquiring a selection of infused charms, which we can use every 15 minutes or so in order to greatly increase our mana regeneration to the point where, you know, we shouldn't have to worry about it very much at all. And that might work for us, so I don't know. Anyway, We still need to kill 4 more Myconars, but for now, I'm going to have to end the episode just because we are out of time. So, thank you guys for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time, and yeah, hope that you guys can get motivated to play the game, whether it's Tera or whatever else. So, have fun. Look forward to